Hey guys, welcome to another video brought to you by Total Control Traders. There's lots of tickers to get through today, seeing bull flags everywhere, lots of bull action, and potential trend change mentioned in the market video. Let's get right into it. Alright, first one's QS. With this one, be patient with it. My personal thought is this trade will pay. It'll take some time for it to work out. As we can see, today's bear dominant, closing near the low of the day, but I'm not too worried about it. We've made some good money on it, so essentially sometimes you gotta give back a little bit of profit, take some risk for some decent gains. So today's one of those days, take a risk. How long you want to hold it, that's up to you. My personal plan is still sticking to this, as covered in yesterday and the day before's video. If we're looking at the hourly, just broke under the hourly 8, increasing bear volume, but big picture guys, daily decreasing bear volume. So looking at playing this from a long-term perspective, ideally we want to hold today's low first thing tomorrow. We are in that support zone, the low end of the support zone. Want to see a reverse right away. Next, NVEI. Haven't looked at this before. A close personal friend partner asked me to take a look at this today. Not too sure how to pronounce this. NVEI Corp. So I was taking a look at this earlier today. On the daily, clear resistance support zone over here. Rejected support, and we're coming down to it. However, on the daily we are a little bit extended from the daily 8. So when I first took a look at it earlier today, it was somewhere around this. We're forming a doji. I think that's called something else actually. Dragonfly maybe? Potential reversal candle. And we are seeing a bounce. But essentially, I'd be looking at most ideal entry would be down here. On the daily is not oversold. 4 hours not oversold. No divergences. Hourly there is a bull divergence, thus we're seeing the bounce. Potential decreasing bear volume until the end of the day. Little bit of a pop on bull volume at the end of the day. Yeah, wait for that most ideal entry, this green zone, in between 58 and 59.78. Next, Tesla. Tesla has been an interesting price action lately. Was expecting it to come down further, but seems like we want to be sticking around here, forming a 4-hour bull flag. We are having trouble with the golden pocket from the all-time high to the 10% drop. Golden pocket right here. And the blue line is after our line, so it's a little bit confusing right now. We are right in it right now. And clearly seeing a decreasing volume. Setting up a next move, whether it's going to be bull or bear. There is no clear sign yet. Decreasing bull volume, so that's not too good to see. Yeah, so for this, I would say wait for the break. Potentially looking at a wedge here. Let's see if this works out. Oh yeah, definitely looking at a wedge here. Came up almost close to it. Reject. Probably drag it out a little bit longer. Somewhere around there. Right at the top of the wedge right now. you want to wait for a clear break on volume to enter if you are a scalper or momentum trader. Right now, somewhat in the middle, not an ideal entry. I mean, you could have an early entry, just mind your sizing, make sure you go small. Next, BNGU, Bio Nano, the hard stock to trade. For the first time ever, we actually didn't have any gap. Came back down, open same price, getting bought up a little bit, no volume, nothing interesting. Keep an eye on it, see what the reaction on the next touch of the 88 is. We could very well just go up and drag the 88 up, but yeah, no, just coming back down from the overbought, surprisingly holding up pretty well. Sort of in the middle of a no man's land right now. Don't really want to be doing any trades on this ticker right now. Wouldn't really want to be. BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, seeing an upper wick forming today on decent volume. Earnings gap down. Oh, that was perfect. Bull divergence, very nice follow through. Rejecting from the, we had a gap fill. Then we reject and we passed it. Actually, we rejected right from it. Forming a support on already 8. Lack of sellers after increasing bull volume. So this actually looks pretty nice. Negated the minor bear divergence, so there's no worries there. If you're in the trade, keep it in. No reason to sell yet. Use the hourly 8 as your guide. We can see there's been a bounce here, and we're coming up to potentially another bounce. I'll re-extend it on the daily. We are a little bit seeing in the wick, so if you're playing on a longer time frame, use the 4-hour 8 as your guide. My thoughts would be it would slowly come back down here to form a bull flag while waiting for the 88 MA to catch up. No reason for exits. Which one was this one? Bed Bath. Next one, ZM. Personally, in this trade, looks amazing. Yesterday pre-market, we gap filled and came back down, touched the bottom of the wedge. Wait, there's no gap, sorry. Just touched the bottom of the wedge. Increasing bull volume today, forming a bit of a doji, rejecting off of the upper trend line from the wedge. However, lack of sellers. So I am keeping a foot in the door. Still in the greens and not gonna let this trade go yet. Use the 4-hour 8. We can see that we ran quite a bit, very fast, and that's why we're waiting for the 4-hour 8. If on the next break of the wedge, actually the funny thing is when we zoom into the 30, it actually worked out near perfect of what the projection was. So it came up off by a couple dollars, then came back tested the 30-minute 8 as well as the GP, and this is where I entered. Didn't come back to test. I was anticipating we would come back to test the support zone, but we saw strength. If you go zoom into shorter time frames, you can see that strength started to show up. There's a doji here, doji again, then bull volume started showing up. So that's when I entered. And on this trade, on the back test of the 4-hour 8, I will be adding to it. Looking at long-term trade, it's going to be an amazing bounce. We've dropped, how much does this drop? 44%. Minimum expectation that I'm expecting is 430, just under 430-ish, the previous resistance along with the 0.382. Next, REGN. Gap up, a little bit of a selling, not ideal because of increasing volume. Considering the bounce we had, 11%, 12%. Extended from the daily. Makes sense that we're coming back to make a higher low. And TradingView is not cooperating. Let's say it might be my computer actually. I would expect the daily higher low of roughly here, 501. Makes sense. The 500 psychological area, and we can see that there's been resistances here. So let's mark that. Wow, right down 500. Alright, so 500 would be the backtest and go area I'd be looking at. Interested in this trade, long term. It's going to form a nice daily reversal when we come back to test the 500 and reverse. Keep an eye on it. Next, Snow. Still in this trade. Still in the greens. Not ideal to see what happened today. Rejected from the trend line again. Sorry, there's lots of lines here. I'm gonna have to clean up a little bit. Yeah, so daily we're looking at inverse head and shoulders. Right now is in an hourly downtrend. We're gonna want to see the reversal action at the worst case scenario at the GP 293-ish. We are starting to see a little bit of a green candle followed by end of day pushing us down but buying it back up. Seems like they want to keep this support, which actually somewhat lines up with the previous resistance. 295.29 short-term support. Gonna want to see a hold of that and reverse. Next, PLTR. Alright. First trading trade, guys. First trading trade. So, as I mentioned yesterday, I want to see a confirmed break on volume and we'll be entering the trade. We got that today. Confirmed break on volume, followed by a little bit of a upper wick, which is okay. Then we saw further action up, but got sold off into. I think it's the way that this trade is coming. It seems like there's a lot of bag holders that's bought from this triangle that didn't get to sell. So that's my thought, and we are seeing a consistent volume. We'll be anticipating that trade this time. Probably gonna try to play a little bit longer. Did play it back here, got stopped out on this wedge break. Gonna have to redraw that. Something like that. That's the wedge I was playing. Stopped out here, and then now seems like, you know, people who didn't get to sell here, they might be taking profit or not taking, just exiting now. Nothing too concerning yet. We are still in an hourly uptrend. Ideally, you want to see this being the higher low right now. Let's see. Yep. So we haven't closed under the GP yet. Slightly under, but bought back up on somewhat of the volume. End of day pop. Looks good to me. Keep a foot in the door. Once we break, we get an actual confirmed break of this trend line, we'll be looking at up, back up. This trend line, it doesn't look too. It's gonna be something more along that line. So once we get a confirmed break, we'll be looking back up at around 27 bucks. Next, FUBO. Re-entered this trade. Took profits. Can't remember. I think it was yesterday. Yeah. Re-entered it towards the end of day. I saw this is what I was seeing. Low exit volume, slow push down, On the longer time frame, hourly, we're looking at a bull flag, held the hourly 8, and towards the end of the day on the 15 we internet's being slow. On the 15 and the 5 we were starting to see bull volume coming in that outweighed the bear volume, so that's why we re-entered. It was around 34.70 that I re-entered. But yeah, this trade still looking good. No major red flag yet. We did reject from previous support resistance area, which lines up with the 0.382, which makes sense. We were expecting that. But looking, see how today's bear volume is lower than yesterday's bull. Considering that if we get a reversal soon, we'll be looking at gap fill. That's the next target, 43 bucks. Then GP around 47. Skills took profits today. Yesterday. Forming a doji candle today. A little bit extended on the daily. Anticipation is that it'll come back down to touch the daily 8 before the next leg up. Looks very bullish. On the hourly, haven't lost the hourly 8. Look at these last two bull flags, guys. This is a perfect example of what bull flags should look like and react. Bounce from daily hourly 8, and then bull flag down. Bounce from hourly 8. Next day gap up. Again bull flag down, and wicking off the hourly 8. Bounce again. So these two are the classic example of what bull flag should lead to. Today, somewhat of a bull flag. Chose not to re-enter it just because we are on the daily. We are forming a doji. Alright, next, wish. Wrong one. Very interesting chart. Today had a 14% price action on increasing bull volume after a decent time of consistent volume, nothing notable. And we did, however, close basically right on resistance, so that's a red flag. If you're in the trade, I'd be exiting. A little bit extended on the daily 8. It is an IPO. We can see irrational moves, especially considering increasing bull. So we can see, if you haven't exited yet, first thing tomorrow you want to see a follow through and break this resistance, or even this one, 24.74. If we don't break those two and you start seeing bear divergence forming, that's your exit signal. On the 30 minute, we are holding 30-minute 8, bounced from here, back here, bounced. Nice end of day volume, buying it back up. So keep an eye on it if you're in the trade. Make sure to watch for that break first thing tomorrow. If not, use a shorter time frame ADMA as your guide, 15 or the 30. Next, AI. Just picked this up today, right towards the end of the day. Had my eyes on it for some time, but wasn't too confident. On the daily, it's actually looking fairly nice. Higher high, IPO didn't drop too much. Next day got bought up right away, and then higher high, higher low, higher high again. This 87% move, guys, followed by a drop of 39%. Now from here, then we saw a higher low, didn't come back down to GP, and today we are seeing a follow through, potentially forming a wedge. Don't know why my wedge is off. It's off by a little bit, but yeah, potentially forming a wedge. 30-minute 8 is the guide. As I was looking at it earlier today, we came close to the 30-minute 8. Bull volume started showing up. That's when I decided to enter. And the main reason is we are seeing, can't remember what time frame it was, hourly decreasing volume. Okay, lots of bulls showing up, very minimal bear volume, no one wants to sell. Looking good. Sorry guys, that was my fiance talking to me. Next is marijuana. We are seeing a continuation today. Amazing. Alright. Daily higher high, highest 52-week close on CGC, and I imagine it'd be the same as any other marijuana tickers. Sorry guys, I have to pause the video a little bit here. Anyways, CGC, but yeah, forming an hourly bull flag. Want to see the follow through tomorrow. Marijuana sector looking great. Next, lemonade. Upper wicks forming, low bear volume. Anticipate a back test of the daily 8 before the next leg up to form that bull flag as mentioned. Looking nice. If you're in the trade, use the daily 8 as your guide. LAZR broke the wedge today. Breakout, somewhat of a breakout fake out, potentially breakout fake out. Increasing bear volume that's beating the bull volumes. Nice breakout volume, but came right back down. Careful on the sticker if you're in the trade. Use the hourly 8 as your guide. If we lose and close under the hourly 8, that'd be your exit. Next, NVIDIA broke the wedge, and what does the daily look like? Okay, we're staying above the wedge. On low bull volume though. Hard ticker to trade, guys, at least lately. So that's a good sign. We're staying above the wedge. Use the 4-hour 8 as your guide. Yeah, bounce from here. Seem to be holding up here. If we lose and close under the 4-hour 8, exit. Volume is not too convincing to be doing a long hold right now. Next, SCR score. Earnings today, after hours. Let's see what it brings us. I thought it was today. Yeah, it's today. Okay. Today after hours. So let's see what it brings us. We are holding up fairly well after the bear engulfing candle. Somewhat of a low bull volume today. But yeah, small position. Nothing crazy. Using the daily 8 as my guide. AC. Air Canada. This will be our second break and hold. Well, our first break and hold, our second break. So we are holding the daily 8, looking good, liking what we're seeing here. Ideally, we want to see a follow through first thing tomorrow. Forming a lower wick. Not worried about this trade, still in it. First target will be looking at GP 2550. Next, SU, Suncor. Not getting that follow through that we were looking for. Increasing bull volume. Slight bear volume coming right back down. This is a stall area. Potential distribution or accumulation area. Liking what's happening here though. Low bear volume. And this is decreasing bear volume. Yeah, seems like distribution or accumulation area. I like to see accumulation. I like to think it's accumulation. I am bull on it. Looking at a back test of this trend line sometime soon, ideally before the end of next week. Last but not least, wanted to bring this ticker up even though the trading chat didn't didn't make money on it. We were in it, we had the right thought of it. And is this one? No. Oh, it's labs. Look at the S. Yeah, so we were in it. We're in there for quite a few days. Bought on this candle, looking for that break. Faked us out. Kept in it because we did eventually break over the trend line. Then stopped us out at 0.52, and sort of just I forgot to look back at it personally. This was a beautiful area. We were seeing hold on it, and big bull volume. Well, bull volume came in on these 2 days. That was a telling sign. Big bull volume came in 2 days ago. That is definitely your go signal. Followed by somewhat of a decent bear volume, unable to push us down. Confirmation is a go signal. Then today, boom. I hope someone made money on it. We lost sight of this one. Knew that there's going to be good gains on it, but lost sight of it. Anyway, so we gap filled. Now we're potentially looking at a stall. If not, this be the resistance. I'm looking at 0.79 before the stall happens. But yeah, that's it for tonight. I hope you guys are staying safe out there, and thank you for watching videos. If you like the content I'm putting out, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I will see you guys tomorrow.